Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Nick Tan Chats, my magic and mostly mentalism review show. My name is Nick Tan, and on today's episode, I'll be chatting with you guys about From One Magician to Another by Gwilym Bugeja. So hi again guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for showing up, thanks for tuning in, and thanks for spending some time with me today. So on today's episode, I'll be talking about a video project that I suspect not many of you have heard of. Okay, because well, it's kind of new, I think, and it's not a project that you have to pay for. Okay, so right off the bat, this video project is absolutely free. Okay, this is absolutely free. It is available on Penguin Magic. Okay, so the link is in the description box down below. So if you'd like to check out this particular video project, please do so. All right, all you need is a Penguin account and you're off and running. But for now, I'm going to take some time just to chat a little bit about what From One Magician to Another is all about. So what is From One Magician to Another all about? Well, this is actually, to me, all right, it is a passion project. All right, it's a labor of love, from Gwilym. All right, now Gwilym is a magician from Malta. Okay, and quite recently, he was invited to perform at the Blackpool Magic Convention. Okay, so if you have, attended the Blackpool Magic Convention that just went by really recently, you probably would have seen him in action, where he was asked to perform in a show that is called the Bear Pit performance, I think. Now, I'm not familiar with that because, I've not attended Blackpool before, but I think it is a yearly thing where they have, I think, 6 performers this year. So they've got 6 performers, in different areas of a room, and then, they would have like, a whole room full of attendees, and the group of attendees would just watch each performer for 8 minutes. Everyone performs at the same time. Okay, so you watch one performer for 8 minutes, then you move on to the next, performer, and so, you just finish all of the little mini shows. So the reason why Gwilym has put together this project From One Magician to Another is because obviously magicians enjoyed the show, enjoyed his performance, and many of them actually contacted him, spoke to him and asked him for advice, about how to go about preparing and how to perform a show for magicians. So Gwilym thought, it'd be a great idea, just to kind of collect all his thoughts, all together, and just to produce a video project for magicians. So as I mentioned earlier, From One Magician to Another is available to you guys absolutely free of charge on Penguin Magic, and it is a video project that runs for about an hour and a half. On the video, Gwilym will introduce you guys to the project. He'll tell you his motivations behind putting together a video such as this. He will then show you a full performance of his act that he performed at the Blackpool Magic Convention. He will then discuss his thoughts about putting together a show for magicians, right? Things like, considering your environment, your audience, how to choose material. He doesn't describe, specific methods to accomplish his act, but he does give you some references and explains why he chose certain methods over others. On top of that, Gwilym will also be interviewing other performers who performed alongside him at the Bear Pit, performers such as Steve Faulkner, Oliver Bell, Darren Robinson, and also Matt Cluley. There will also be an outro video to bring the whole project to a close. So personally for me, as a professional performer, right, I don't perform for magicians. I really don't. And I mean, I was involved with, magic clubs, and stuff like that, many years ago. But these days, I really hardly at all perform for magicians, I mean, the occasional lecture, or talk, right, at the local magic club, at the local IBM. I think my last kind of magic convention, was probably 20 years ago, Back then I was still, kind of competing, at magic conventions, the close-up competition and stuff like that. So while this project, isn't exactly kind of applicable to me now, all right, at this point in time in my career, watching it did bring back a lot of, really nice memories, of attending magic conventions, and, competitions, and just being in an environment, right, full of magicians. So I think this is a really niche kind of a video project, right? It won't like kind of be applicable to everyone. But if you are, you know, a magician, you know, who loves magic conventions, right? And I mean, we all do, you know, at a certain level, you know, just being, you know, around magicians and just hanging out with them, and you know, we all just geek out about the latest magic stuff. And of course, you know, if you are involved in the magic circuit, all right, in magic conventions, you would definitely be, you know, be given, or rather there will be opportunities for you to perform at, you know, magic conventions, right? And I think performing at magic conventions brings about certain levels of stress, you know, because, you know, sometimes we just want to do stuff to kind of impress the guys. You know, we want to do things a little bit differently so that, you know, we kind of get people to go like, oh, that's really clever, you know, oh, I've got no idea how that's done, you know, that sort of a thing. So Gwilym actually gives you really solid advice, you know, about how to structure and approach performing at a magic convention. He speaks about, you know, things such as, you know, understanding your audience, right? Or whether your audience, you know, speak English. He talks about the environment, understanding your environment as well. And because of the environment, how to frame your effects as well so that there's maximum visibility for all who are watching your show. And of course, considerations such as this would kind of dictate the kind of methods you use as well, you know, because, you know, some methods are where, you know, cards are like flat on the table. And we've all, you know, attended, you know, magic lectures where, you know, if things are done like on the table and you're set some distance away watching the lecturer, then, you know, you've got to like kind of strain a bit, you know, to see what's on the surface of the table. So these are issues that Gwilym will discuss with you, you know, and call your attention to, okay, if you are going to be performing at a convention. The interviews were really nice to watch as well. You know, it was interesting to see how each performer kind of took on the task, you know, of performing for magicians. And I think one of the best takeaways from watching the interviews is that, well, you know, as I mentioned earlier, right, back in the days when I was still kind of active in, you know, magic conventions and stuff like that, I always had this pressure to kind of perform something different, you know, and something really, you know, clever, right? And often it will be material that, you know, I don't do really often at all, you know, and so I think one of the biggest advice that, you know, all the performers shared was just to perform, you know, material that you're really comfortable with, you know, something that you're really familiar with as well, because, well, it's not really just about kind of fooling other magicians. The focus can also be on just performing the effects properly. Gwilym also talks about how to just perform your standard stuff that you're familiar with, you know, stuff that you do all the time, and you'll be surprised that actually, just by entertaining the magicians as though they were lay people, you can kind of fool quite a good number of them as well. But yeah, you know, there's nothing much to say about this project, right, from one magician to another, because there is literally no risk on your part. Right, it's absolutely free, and you can just get it for yourselves on your Penguin Magic account. Just head on to the link in the description box down below. So while the points that Gwilym discusses are specifically applicable to a magic convention kind of environment, there were many points as well that I found myself thinking, well, that's also applicable to performing for lay people. You know, considerations about what language they speak, you know, how are they set, right? Knowing the environment, how to hold your props and frame them so that everyone can see, how to project your voice so that everyone can hear, right? So these are things that I think are universal, all right? So I think if you are a student of magic at all, you know, just give the video a watch, and I think you will find it quite interesting. So I'd like to thank Gwilym, you know, for approaching me and for, you know, giving me the opportunity to help him share this project with all of you as well. Once again, it is available on penguinmagic.com. So that's all for today's episode, guys. I do hope you enjoyed yourselves, and hopefully I've introduced to you something interesting in the magic world. If you are new to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe, okay, and hit the bell notification button as well, so that you'll be notified every time I upload a new video on YouTube. But for now, guys, as always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode of Nique Chats.